Now we continue with the plot of the game, in which, if you remember correctly, we have to take a trip to a penal colony in the middle of nowhere. The barrel next to us holds a copy of a book, but to take it we need to steal it, and to steal it it's a bit of a hassle, and we can get by without that book, just as a reference. Now once in the... you must make sure that you do everything you want to do before leaving the isle, because you only get one choice to get inside. Now, first of all, there's a set of quests around here that can be completed in any order, and some of them actually affect how the game ends. I'll go over them a bit in just a bit. First of all is this quest to kill a wild beast. The wild beast, I'll talk of it in more detail when we actually confront it. Second, here it is to bring some potato moonshine to a traveler right in the middle of nowhere. This quest is fairly important, but you'll see why in just a minute. Well, not exactly a minute, more like 10 minutes when we actually do it. Out of the quests in Dread Isle, you only get one chance to visit Dread Isle in the game, so every single quest is self-contained. In other words, self-contained on this isle. Yes, that's potato moonshine. Although you could technically make potato and lemon batteries, I've never seen lemons in the game or potatoes. I find it out that this girl actually has the sass to give a slip despite being, well, who she is and where she is. I'll leave that to your imagination. There's not much to talk about this place, besides the fact that I applied the MMO treatment. Get in town, get all the quests, go outside of town, and then complete all the quests. And more than half of the quests are about pick something up or kill this or that. One thing that I forgot to mention. Yes, here's the individual that would have needed the book if we would try to bribe our way in. But well, there are 3 other ways to get inside. So a book it's just a commonality. Let's go like that. Just for flavor. Now. I made a slight mistake in the other video, saying that there were only 5 types of damage. I missed poison / acid damage, but it's quite that. The Prima guide doesn't mention it, at least just glosses over it. It mentions that some of the enemies have resistance to poison, but not explicitly to acid. It falls into the same category, but it does flat flat damage, but then there are some enemies, some weapons that do acid damage in a bracket in between two values. Well, it's a crapshoot. So not thinking about poison too much is probably the smartest way to do it. Now this ogre foreshadows a bit of what foreshadows another quest, something strange. Mainly the number of gnomes with ogres as bodyguards. Keep that in mind, because this is one of the most hated quests in the whole game. Now he mentions his love of reading. Again, since we have persuasion, I'm going to persuade my way inside. But still, that doesn't. One way doesn't exclude the other. Therefore, you need at least 3 points of persuasion to get by. The pit. Yes, the pit fighter only starts at. Yes, there we go. Only starts at night. I think at least 8 o'clock. We have to tell everyone to wait, because the pit fighter will only accept us inside, and well, fighting all the you only need to fight the first fight in the ring to get inside, but fighting all of them will need us a new title for reputation. And I haven't really talked about titles, reputation much, but reputation is pretty simple. You do something, you have a reputation, and that gives you a flat 5, 10, 50, or even 100 increase or decrease in a certain city or with certain people. I mean, those things are flat. Either 5, it doesn't go with a percentage. And the fighters are pretty much barbarians or berserkers. They really don't have much variety, and most of them are hand-to-hand combat, which again, we have guns, we win by default. I think the Elven here was the strongest of them all, mainly because of his high agility, more high dexterity, and evade rate, but that was just something that happened in another playthrough. I really don't... I just mentioned it as a curiosity. Again, they don't have much. You probably could have the time to loot their bodies, but I mean, they don't really have that much. Priest is a misleading word. There's no so-called divine magic that creatures can use, so he's just another mage. Now here's our reputation in the book. The ancient game, I honestly don't know what it gives. No change in reputation. That's just a flavor. Now we get everybody to join again. And I believe that we're going to start doing all the side quests that we have picked up earlier. Some of them are pretty darn important to us. Well, I'll talk about them when we get them. First of all, we're going to go take care of the beast that lurks outside the village. Why is it so important? It's a unique monster with special 15 points, 15% reduction change for missile weapons, but I really didn't see a difference. I think that whenever there's a creature with special defense to missile, it will picture it having an electromagnetic top hat on, an electromagnetic chapeau, because that's what it amounts to. Yes, as I said in the first episode, you can act like in Daggerfall, you can actually go from one place to the other in the world map. It has built himself. The way to find the beast is just to go there, find the tracks, and just go to its lair. It's simple as that. And guess what the monster is? Oh, guess which reskin the monster is with an electromagnetic top hat on. I keep saying that because it's the best effect it has got, but not because it actually carries that loot, no matter how hilarious it may have been. Yes, it's a giant gorilla. I used the Tesla rod with it because, well, it wouldn't have mattered. I just want to use the electricity rod for it. He doesn't wear armor. If he did, then Gar would have destroyed it partially. And that's about it. He has got some junk there. Unidentified gloves that are cursed. Unidentified ring that is also cursed. As his full set. The best way, Gar can only equip certain armors, so I have no fear in giving him magically cursed armor to carry around. Oh well. Now, first of all, let's go collect those items for the collector. There are 4 items to get in total, but you only need to give him one of them. Now, what is this beach populated with? Spiders, of course. Let me see, those are greater spider. There was quite a lot of variety. Dread spider, they have poison. No, they are only stronger. They don't have a poison attack. This schematic is one of those. There are 2 incredibly important schematics. First of all, it's the Bromwick's gun, which we will be making when we reach the Dwarven Fortress. We cannot make it now because we are lacking one of the key components. And the second schematic, an ancient you can turn in ancient pocket watches, filaments, and something else. I'm sorry. Can't remember, but just find some junk and there's plenty of dots that you can turn them. Now the second schematic is far more important. It's the reanimator. It's literally Phoenix. Let's talk about in terms that we understand. It's a Phoenix down, and we can create it. So yes, well, it's better to carry 2 or 3 of those around. Now I don't loot the camp fully, but I got what I needed. An item to change for an ancient gun chassis and something to make it. Now, here we have the 3rd wave, equally talking to us mainly because we are female. Our character is female. Had we been men, we should have used the white scarf that the NPC in the camp had. Now let's not think of them as the 3rd wave. Let's think of them as another gang in this giant Oz-like style prison. Now we finally go to... here we go, the Insectress. They are bowmen, quite bad at that. But they also have magical resistances. 20% for the lower variety and 40% resistance to the higher variety. It's important. Maximilian won't talk to you otherwise unless you tell him every man has its secrets. That's the key. And this is what you have to do to get the best ending, or at least get on the track to get the best ending for Cumbria, or whatever you call it. Now let's turn those quests in. First of all, he gives us an item. I think a medallion that is cursed. It gives you some dexterity, but it takes something away from you. And don't bother. Second of all, as you can see, we survived the pit fighters, so we get some more flavored dialogue for it. He gives us moonshine, but I don't really think there's much of a use for it. I have never been able to use it as a consumable. I'm sure you can. Now, here's the thing with... first of all, yes, of course, turn this quest in. This chances is one. This ancient gun chances there's only one in the whole game, so well, keep it. So far, there's two, but frankly, the other one you only get it very high into the late game, very late into the game. Now, Cynthia, here's the thing: we can either turn her to become the bottom feeder of the second of the prison gang, or we can take her with us. And for that, once we escape, spoilers alert, she's really nothing special. I mean, can't really do anything. Or healing, maybe. But still, no technological aptitude of any kind. Quite average stats, just some melee and dexterity. In any case, taking her with us, we will... It's far better than for her to become another drag. Yes, I did watch us. Now, we need I need at least 3 points in persuasion, but I like to be prepared. So, dwarfs are here. Yes, you need at least 3 persuasion for that line to work. And sometimes you get harassed by the guards if Cynthia is accompanying you, but it didn't happen to me in this playthrough. In any case, 3 points into persuasion can also sway them away. So far, 3 points can get you anywhere. And right now, let's just make a beeline for the boat, and we'll get there. By taking Cynthia into the mainland, we get 1 fate point. These bodies have some gold with us, but and like that, we say goodbye to the Isle of Dread, and we continue on the next leg of our journey.